Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin.
I am a Joshua fan, I'm not going to lie.
And Gassiev's a good boxer.
It's an interesting fight. It's a dangerous fight.
I think he's got a good chance.
Wallin's not the biggest hitter, but he is a southpaw.
But he's big. It's not that Joshua was bad, it's just that Usyk was that good.
He's got good skill, Parker.
Oh, he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Parker, in his last few fights I've seen him, he's looked lazy.
But he always looks in shape. That's the thing. He doesn't look like he's just, I think he's just a natural athlete.
He's got the power to knock him out, you know.
Hello and welcome to Genuine Fake BoxCast with special guest Simon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Not so super this time.
Oh, wow.
Amazing this time. Today we're going to talk about the Day of Reckoning, the 23rd of December.
Humongous Saudi event.
Yeah, it's a little event there, you know.
Have you got me tickets for it yet?
I'm working on it.
Good lad.
I'm working on it.
Come on.
We're going to phone your...
You need to speak to
your spy, Mr. Hearn, and say, can we get there, please? We need to do some first-hand reporting. So should we start with Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin? What do you think of this? It's a good fight. It's a good matchup, I think.
Yeah.
Both big guys.
Wallin's making all the right noises.
Did you see his fight against Fury?
Yes.
It's a good fight.
Good
it was
fight.
closer.
And I saw his fight against... what was the guy he beat last time?
He had a good performance.
Former cruiserweight champion.
Yeah,
I've forgotten his name. But that was a good performance. He's on a bit of a win streak, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's a big lad.
Well, I think his only loss is that Fury fight, isn't it? And
he's
that
southpaw.
close. Yeah, so I think he's a problem for Joshua.
I don't think Joshua likes him. Do you know what?
He needs that meanness back. We've been saying that before, haven't we? He needs a little bit of that old Joshua meanness back.
The big press conference
so
he
that's
had.
a good thing, I think.
It was a fantastic press conference. I don't know if you haven't watched it, but watch it because it is a really good press conference.
I've seen the where they face to face. Yeah, and you can talk to them.
The whole thing was. It's a massive event. I know some people are saying, "Oh, it's not the Wilder Joshua fight," but it's still a massive event.
I think it's a good build-up for that.
It's a huge build-up, and the fights on it are good fights. Joshua, yeah, he's the favourite against Wallin.
Murat Gassiev is the guy.
Gassiev, that was it.
And Gassiev's a good boxer, so that's a good... Although he's cruiserweight, moved up to boxing, heavyweight.
Joshua's got Ben Davidson in his corner for this.
Yeah, why is he...
Because...
That's a question I've been meaning to ask, because we haven't had a chat about that. Why do you think he's changed?
Didn't have enough time to go back to America and then to Saudi, from what I'm hearing. But don't forget, Ben Davidson was in the corner for Fury when he fought Wallin. So I think it's a good move.
So to get the game strategy that. Okay.
It's either a good move or a really bad move, changing trainers
we're not going to find out until after the event. So.
But Joshua looks angry. I like that.
Yeah, that's we've said for a while. He needs to get back to old.
I am a Joshua fan. I'm not going to lie. I'm a huge Joshua fan. I think he's beat Wallin in the amateurs.
Okay.
He's sparred with Wallin.
Mm-hmm.
Say Wallin's got a lot of confidence going in this.
Yeah, well, if you've only losses to Fury and that was close,
shouldn't have lost to Fury really.
And then you would have a lot of confidence. I don't know. And Gassiev is a good fighter, so he's beaten him. I think it depends on which version of Joshua turns up. Would you say that's fair? If it's the old Joshua, mean, aggressive, and without
I don't think
with the skill that he's sort of developed.
I don't think you're going to see the mean. I know we've had this conversation.
Well, the controlled version of the meanness, but I think he needs a bit of that meanness in his eyes, which he did have at the away.
I think
and the fate way and face off.
I think he needs to take his head clean off.
Yeah,
he really does, and he can. He really he can knock anyone out, Joshua.
Yeah.
He really can.
I'm hoping the Hellenius one gives him a bit of confidence because obviously he boxed well, but it was a bit distance and things. But his boxing looked a bit sharper than it has done. But then he got the win with the knockout.
It's a co-main event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've got Wilder, Parker, And I don't know whether they've decided who fights last yet.
That's a good point.
But it's there for someone to steal the show.
Yeah.
We know.
Well, I think it's a stepping stone, isn't it? Because they're back in the conversation.
But you want, you've got some massive fights on there, which we are going to discuss over the next few shows. So it is for someone there to steal the show.
Yeah.
For Joshua to steal the show,
he's got
to knock this guy out.
Because you know what Wilder's going to do.
Yeah.
Or trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Parker.
So he has got to go and knock Wallin out.
Yeah.
If he knocks Wallin out,
I think that puts him firmly back in the picture, isn't it?
And he can steal the show.
It's no easy task, man. But
it's not.
But he
an
should
easy
be capable of doing it.
Wallin's not the biggest hitter, but he is a southpaw.
But he is big.
And he's southpaw,
and he's awkward.
I don't know whether that'll suit Joshua better, though, being the same size as him. I think he struggles with these little guys, Joshua.
Yeah, I think he does.
I really do think
I think he prefers to have people who are similar ilk and size.
Yeah. I don't think...
Because he doesn't really rely on his physicality like a Fury does, where he bullies them with his weight and puts his weight on. He relies on his physicality for his power.
Yeah.
So that's better when the person's equal and he can hit equally
and
with the smaller ones
and
too fast.
He's not going to be punching down.
Yeah.
Against Wallin. It's an interesting fight, really. It's a dangerous fight. Like I say, Wallin's making all the right noises. He's on a good win streak. It's a good name to have.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, if Wallin beats him, he's
gone back up to. He's gone into the conversation.
It's a great fight. I think Ben Davidson will come up with a game plan for him. I think Ben Davidson would have learnt a lot from the Fury fight. He'd have watched the Gassiev fight. He's a good trainer, Ben Davidson.
Yeah,
he really, really is. He's a good guy to have in the corner. He watches fighters.
I think he comes up with some good tactics. He did it for Fury as well, isn't it? They come up with some good tactics.
Whether Joshua can do it,
I think it depends on him, isn't it? It's his mentality and his thing. If he's got that old mean streak with his newfound, obviously he's developed his skill as he's got more experience. If he can marry that with a bit of that old school meanness that he had, I think he's got a good chance.
Like I say, it's a huge
But I don't
fight.
think it's an easy fight. I think it's...
No, I don't think
it's going to be... If it goes to points, I think it's going to be fairly evenish close, but I think he can win. But I think it's got to go to knockout.
It can't
either
go
way.
to points. It really can't.
Well, it doesn't satisfy the... You know what Wilder's going to do. And there's probably a few others who are going to put on a show in the same card, even if at different weights. So he has to really perform to bring out, I'm the man. Or at least I'm equal man to the other man. So he's got to put on a performance. I don't think just winning is enough. I think he's got to be a performance.
It's not. I mean, that's what everyone's asking for, isn't it, from Joshua?
I think Wallin just winning would be enough. I think for Joshua, it's got to be winning with a bit of style, with a bit of
they've put a rematch clause in there as well.
Have they? Oh, I didn't know that. That changes it a bit.
Yeah, there's a rematch clause in there.
But the thing is, with Joshua in it, anyone's going to be a big fight. So you're going to get, the interest is there in him, in it. Depending on unless it's completely one-sided, there is going to be interest in a rematch. So it's fairly lucrative.
I think Joshua does it.
I think, should we save predictions for?
I'll save my prediction, but
go on. You can put it out there now if you didn't.
I think Joshua knocks him out.
Okay.
I do. I think Joshua's got. I do genuinely think he's got a chip on his shoulder, AJ.
He needs it.
And I think that chip's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger over the next. But it's 11 days away, isn't it, from recording this? I think he's going to go in there and dismantle him. Absolutely
early
dismantle him.
Or systematically, so it's going to be later. I think about later rounds.
I think for round.
Because I don't think he's going to go gung-ho from the beginning. I think he'll feel his way in, like he did a bit at Helenius, and then ramp it up. But I think he'll ramp up a bit faster than he did against Helenius.
I'll do round 4.
Earlier. I think 7 or 8.
The thing with Joshua is he looks to throw that right hand, And he looks now, like Klitschko did it when Manny Stewart got on his corner. He'll only throw it when it's safe.
Yeah.
I think... Don't forget, Southpaw is open to that right hand.
Yeah.
And Wallin ain't got the footwork that Usyk has.
There's very few in
really
heavyweights who's got the footwork Usyk has.
So I think Josh will find that right hand sooner than people think. And I think he...
Well, my thinking is this. I think he'll find it, but I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to find it. He'll feel it out, so it'll take 3 or 4 rounds to get into it. And then it's just a matter of time. But it's how good... I'm not sure how good, because Wallin hasn't actually been sparked out, has he, or whatever? So
he hasn't, to be fair.
So I think it's how good his chin is the decision of how many of those right hands and combinations it takes. But I think if Joshua...
Well, that's the key
Unless
there.
Joshua doesn't turn up, I think he does
That's
win.
the key there, the combination. Because Joshua is a good combination puncher. And if he can throw combinations instead of looking for a single shot...
Yeah, I think he systematically was man. I think if he's going for a single shot, I think he might be on a losing game plan.
Yeah, and now
I think once he starts connecting...
Yeah, he's not... He has got the same... Not attributes as Wilder, but he has got that one knockout punch power. But if you look...
he's got so much more.
Yeah. If you look at when he fought Klitschko, it was the combinations.
It's combinations. When
it.
he's looked his best, it's combinations.
Yeah.
It's like catching him. Yeah,
He'll throw that.
It's the one-punch finisher, but he's had like the 2-3, the 3-2.
Yeah, he'll throw the left jab, the right hook, and then he'll throw a cheeky little up. I mean, he's a great uppercut puncher, Joshua. Really good uppercut puncher. So if Wallin puts his head down, he could be susceptible to a nice right uppercut.
Joshua's got the things in his armory. It's whether he unleashes them and in the combos. I think he will need to do combos because the guy's big and he's not going to knock out down easily.
But I think Wallin will just try and keep him on the end of the right jab.
Yeah. That's what he's going around.
I think Wallin's game plan will be, this guy gasses out. Let's take him into 8, 9, 10, and then I'll be able to take him out with fatigue.
Well, that was my other point about, like, I think early, I don't think he's going to go gung-ho because he'll want to stretch out, keep his tank fresh, because obviously that's one of his weaknesses. So that's why I think he'll do it at a level way. But once he starts getting past, I'm hoping that he opens up and then...
I think he will.
Puts the combos together and gets his thing.
I mean, I just think too much had been made of Joshua against Usyk, and let's not forget Usyk was tremendous and is tremendous.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that in February. So how tremendous he is. So let's leave that to that's another show.
I think Joshua's a better fighter.
I think Joshua's not as bad as people are made out comparing today. I think they've underestimated Usyk and estimated some other people, let's say, without going into names. And it's not that Joshua was bad, it's just that Usyk was that good. Joshua still beat, look at his resume. It's what you've said many times, and you're a fanboy, but still, I think I agree in most of it. It's not...
I mean, it's funny enough.
He's got a lot of good wins.
Yeah, I was watching I'm a Celebrity because Tony Bellew was on it, and even Tony Bellew said it was the Usyk made Tony run out of gas. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that he was a big puncher, he's
just relentless.
He just made him run out of gas because he said he's just constantly moving, shifting his feet. You know, if you go to throw a punch, you have to readjust constantly. Your mind's always up. Where's he going?
It's the mental drain.
Yeah, and that's what.
Then you get physically drained because your brain's going, "What the hell is going on here?"
All right, Joshua in the first one, he tried to outbox him because no one said he could outbox him. The second one was a lot closer, and the
second one was a good fight.
It was a really good fight, to be fair. And it's one of them. I think if they fought 100 times, Usyk wouldn't win 100 times.
No. Well, I think as it goes to more fights, I think Joshua gets closer.
Yeah.
Because he will catch him at some point. And then it's a different contest. I think that's the wrong comparison. I think you got to compare him to the other people he's fought, and then he's beaten most of them. So, in rematches, I think Usyk's just a different... He's a different third level pound for pound, isn't he?
Fourth.
Number. Yes, that's a debate for another time.
And you know, if Joshua does win, he gets the Wilder fight.
Well, that's what we all want to see.
Which, let's...
So is that a good step to segue to our Wilder fight and Wilder Parker? That's interesting as well, because Parker, if he was at his
Parker
pre-fighting
is a bit like Joshua.
Yeah.
You don't know where he's at.
Yeah, I think since he's lost to Joshua, he's just been weird. Because if you see his fights before that, he looks like he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, but then we got sparked
But
out
then
by,
he's been like
he
like
got
that.
sparked out by Joe Joyce, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't Dylan White spark him out as well?
He's fought a few of them, but he looked to be like Joshua in some of his after
But
fights where he just didn't seem to be
I know
himself.
after his losses, he's gone into the Fury camp, hasn't he? Which I think's given him a lot of confidence. And they'll be telling Parker out, you can beat Wilder.
Wilder's beatable. I think there's
Wilder's
quite a lot of you.
beatable,
But the thing
by-
is, he's got those atomic weapons that
Any
just
de-
give him a chance against anybody. Doesn't matter who it is.
I mean,
how good they are.
Any half decent boxer can beat Wilder. Any half decent boxer.
Most of them were.
But he has
King
got.
Kong was beating him.
Yeah.
The others.
He's got that
what's his-
equaliser.
Laverne or whatever his name is, Staverne.
Yeah.
Whatever. They was beating him. But there's 5 or 6 of his fights where they were winning in the fight. They were ahead on points, and then suddenly, phew, it's gone. It's over.
He's dangerous from round 1 to 12, Wilder, isn't he?
And his power doesn't seem to diminish them. I mean, the only time I've seen it go down is in the later fights against Fury, because obviously Fury just wore him down.
Yeah.
He had his number by then, isn't it?
But that's where Parker won't be able to do that to Wilder.
Nope. And that's why he's dangerous all the way through. So it's...
And Parker, go back to the Joshua era, he was renowned for having a granite chin and no one knocked him out. But he got sparked out by Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether Dylan White's...
He had a couple where he was disappointing,
sparked
isn't
him
it?
out or knocked him down a few times. He's got good skill, Parker. And everyone's written him off.
Well, he was... Before his Joshua one, he was a boxer with a granite chin.
Yeah,
but a boxer with some skill. He wasn't Joe Joyce where he's just a granite chin.
He was the WBA champion, and he had a good few defences. And
yeah, I seen some of his stuff was good.
And like I say, everyone's written him off against Wilder.
Because even Joshua only did it from distance. He outboxed him, which I think that worked for him because he had his jab. His jab was, obviously Joshua's jab is good when he's using it properly. He outboxed him, went round, isn't it? And then that got him there. It's the afterwards he just sort of seems to have lost that belief in himself.
I mean, if he goes in with belief, he's got the power, Parker, as well.
He's got the power. He's got the skill. He's got all the attributes. It's whether he avoids them for 12 rounds. Because I think Wilder's more rugged than people give him for, and I think his boxing skill is actually, his IQ and that is a little bit higher than what he looks like.
But
just because everybody focuses on his knockouts.
Wilder being out the ring, was it 2 years? He's had one fight
That's
in 2 years.
the problem. We don't know how much what he's actually been doing.
And the one fight he had was against Hellenius, which lasted 40 seconds.
Yeah. It's not really that much use, is it? Most sparring sessions would be harder. But he always looks in shape. That's the thing. He doesn't look like he's just, I think he's just a natural athlete. He looks like he's always in shape. And the weight thing doesn't make too much of a difference in there, isn't it? But he's not a spring chicken either, is he?
No, he's 38.
He's not young. For boxing terms, anyway.
I think he is 38 now. Just checking. I'm sure he is 38. Don't know why I'm questioning myself. I think if there's going to be an upset,
that's the one.
I think this is the one. Weirdly.
Well, I'm not sure it's that weird. I think if you look at it logically, I think it is. Because Parker's capable, is a decent enough boxer to be able to beat Wilder. I think it's the contest is big punch versus somebody who can actually box a bit.
I think
has got enough boxing ability to beat him. He's a world champion. He was
Parker in his last few fights I've seen him, he's looked lazy.
He hasn't looked as good.
Disinterested, if you like.
That's what I think. He's not. He's not there. It's like he hasn't got the confidence in himself.
So I don't know whether on this one he's going to have to be switched on.
He can't be not switched on. If he's not switched on, it's going to be a 1 round over contest.
Yeah.
He'll be after that.
Will Wilder look? I don't think Wilder looks for a round knockout. He just looks to throw that right hand, and if it lands, it's all.
I think
over.
he's a little bit smarter than what people give him for throwing it. He does wait till he gets an opportunity, and his defense isn't that bad. Because you've seen against Fury, he wasn't completely like Haney's done the progress, wiped out. It was close. He had some rounds where he won, And he did catch Fury. And Fury's, right now maybe... Let's ignore the Ngannou fight. He's got good defense, so usually he's good footwork. He's got good defense, and Fury and Wilder's caught him in all the fights.
Don't know whether I'm just trying to make a case for Joseph Parker.
So you think Joseph Parker by a knockout?
I'll go for it. I think if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be
this
that
one.
Yeah, I think it'll be that.
By knockout? By points?
By knockout.
Brave decision.
Brave.
I'll have Wilder in that one.
What round are you going for with Wilder?
Which version of Parker do I think turns up? If Parker doesn't turn up first one, Parker turns up about 7th or 8th.
Okay.
I think. More because I want to see a bit of a fight. First round, as exciting as it will be, it's a bit disappointing because I want to see all of them have decent matches. And I think they all are decent matchups. So it'd be nice to get a fair few, at least 6 rounds of boxing, and then we can see what happens. So should we segue next to Daniel Dubois and Jarrell Miller? That's a good matchup as well.
Yeah.
What do we think here?
I haven't got a clue.
I think it's pretty even. Has Miller even fought or something since his...
I haven't got...
since ruining Joshua's career?
Miller is an animal.
Yep, he's huge.
He is an animal.
And I think he's got the mentality to back that up, so yeah.
Dubois... I just don't know about Daniel Dubois. He's got the power to knock him out,
I think he's got the skill and the power to do it. But do you think he's lost a bit since his loss to... Usyk I don't think matters so much because...
It was Joe Joyce, wasn't it?
Yeah, Joe Joyce I think is the one. Do you think that's knocked his... Because he was doing quite well. He was winning that fight until he got knocked out.
Yeah,
until he got stopped.
The thing is Jarrell Miller thinks he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Hasn't really got a defence. And I don't think he thinks Dubois can hurt him.
So if Dubois is in the right mental state,
I think
it should be Dubois, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he can walk Miller onto a right hand.
Dubois definitely got the power.
And if he can walk Miller onto a right hand, could be
interesting.
But you listen to Miller and you start believing him because of what he says, don't you?
He's quite persuasive.
Just, wow,
I think you start to believe his hype.
The best build up for a fight ever would be Tyson Fury and Jarrell Miller. Imagine them two at a press conference. Wow.
Well, you never know if he wins. Then that could be set up.
I don't agree. I don't think Jarrell Miller should be fighting.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he should have been banned for life because it wasn't just.
He was properly cheating, isn't it? Is what the consensus is.
Injecting himself.
Yeah. I think everybody else has been dubious or borderline, or there may be. You could argue it either way. I think his was, generally.
And I do believe,
performance enhancing. Shall we say?
We don't want to get into boxing politics, but no, he shouldn't be fighting at all. To be honest, I think he's very, very, very lucky to be on this card. I wouldn't have put him on it, but. He served his ban, and he's back.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
No, they don't. I think they get banned before that anyway. I think this is like a second time or something.
The thing is, he does make a really good show.
He is a character, and he does make it, and he sells a fight. Yeah. He goes on about the Joshua fight. Look, you had the Joshua fight in the palm of your hand. And you decided to cheat.
It wasn't anybody else's fault.
And apparently you even got paid for that, and you still owe Eddie Hearn the money for it. He is an animal. Jarrell Miller.
He's got power too, and he's pretty aggressive as well, isn't it? So I think it's a dangerous fight for Dubois.
Yeah, it's a bit like Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's got a good engine as well.
Yeah. For his size, you don't think he gasses out.
It's a really dangerous fighter for Dubois.
I think it's a good matchup for him to be like, if he loses then he's got to consider what he's going to do. I think if he wins, it puts him back in the conversation. It's a good fight to get him up. It's that level. It's dangerous.
I mean, I think if he loses, I think that's him done.
Yeah. I don't think there's not much point to doing it. I mean, he's young, so he can do, but I'm not sure what
he hasn't had the easiest of routes to Daniel Dubois.
I think they rushed him a little bit.
Oh, God.
I think the Joyce one was a bit of a shock. I think Usyk was a rushed fight, but I mean,
he was the mandatory, so I hope he does win.
But as we said before, there's no shame in losing to Usyk. So.
I hope he does win, Dubois. You felt a little bit sorry for him sitting at the table because he's not a talker, Dubois, is he?
No.
He just sat there, was like,
that's a one-sided contest in promotion.
I mean, against most people, Miller wins that.
Well, Usyk fully doesn't speak English, and even he was losing. He was winning against Dubois.
I know, just
verbally. So, yeah, it's not an even-sided contest.
This is the most out of the three. I mean, out of them, I'd say they're the three big fights in that show. This is the one I'm most intrigued about because I don't know what Daniel Dubois has got.
Yeah, it's the same as we've said with Parker and Joshua, which version of Dubois turns up. But the thing is, at least with Joshua, we know there's different versions. With Parker, we've seen a few. I'm not sure Dubois was ever there at that top level.
And my problem is that Dubois...
He's starting behind, so is there enough in him to be there?
I hate to say this, Dubois is a quitter.
Yeah, that seems to be a general
He's
feeling.
A quitter, and...
Because it's more than one occasion now.
Jarrell Miller throws a lot of punches. I mean, Dubois has never been ironed out.
No.
He's never been out cold. He's quit.
Yeah.
Can Jarrell Miller make him quit?
But do we know what Jarrell Miller's going to turn up? I mean, if it's the old Jarrell Miller, then he can.
You don't know, do you, really?
But being out and things, you never know, do you, with all of But all of them, none of the hardly any of them had that many fights.
Out of all the fights on there, I could pick a winner. I can't pick a winner in this one. I genuinely can't pick a winner. Who
would you like to win?
I'd like Daniel Dubois win, just because I can't...
Yeah. Because you don't think Miller should be there?
I don't think much of Jarrell Miller. Yeah, he's great for the sport, but he's a boxing cheat. Mm-hmm. And I'd love Dubois just to iron him out and make a statement and go crazy and then start calling out.
It'd be nice for him to come, to put on a real performance and do it. Because he could steal the show if he puts on a performance against even over Joshua and
knocks Miller out. He can steal the show.
Yeah, if he puts in a dominant performance and
he'll go for he'd be a worldwide name.
He's back in the mix. Well, the Americans will pick him up then because obviously he's beaten.
He's smashed in the gob.
Just won't be able to watch the press conferences because they're so boring. So it won't be as entertaining as Miller's. But yeah, I hope he wins as well, isn't it? To get there. I mean, it'd be crazy. One would be Miller because he's entertaining, really entertaining. But I think from where his age group and thing is, because Dubois, the problem is if he doesn't, then you can't really see what path he takes. Then, isn't it? He's gone back a fair few steps then that he's got to come back up on.
Yeah, there is no path he takes. I mean, for the winners, and there's two other heavyweight fights, but that might be in another show that we talk about. But for the winners of all these fights, there's massive heavyweight fights out there after this.
And we need them because they've all been bloody lazy and not done anything.
So it's getting yourself in place now. If you win, it's
putting yourself in the option to fight
because
those
these
fights.
Belts after February fight of Fury and Usyk, these belts might get fragmented. Mm-hmm. And if you're in positions of number 1 and 2s, you could be fighting for a belt.
Yeah.
Against an easier opponent, let's say.
Well, I think if either of Usyk and Fury, other than fighting themselves, I think they both go off into the sunlight as they've achieved greatness. They've done their duty, then they're going to go off. I don't think there's much point of them fighting anybody else out of that list of people. So then it's open for all of them to come to it.
Usyk doesn't need to fight anyone else. Fury needs to fight Joshua.
Yeah.
That's the only
Well, I
fight
think
out there for him.
that's a big enough fight for him. Usyk doesn't because he's already done it.
Yeah, Usyk can just
Usyk,
retire.
well, it doesn't make much sense really outside that because if you've already beaten Fury, the man who's already beaten you.
But these younger guys, your Fury, your Usyk, your Joshua, they're not going to be around for many more years. So these younger guys need to start.
They need to get their they need to get the name out to get their that make the name so we've got promotional ability so they can actually make some money. Because if the big names go, that's it. Whilst you might be able to win your fight, then there's not as much attention.
You know, they go on about Joshua being a cash cow. Yeah, he is, and if you fight him, you're set for life.
Yeah.
But what if he's gone and Fury's gone and Usyk's gone and Wilder's gone?
Yeah,
you're fighting each other, and if you haven't built your profile up with some big wins, you ain't getting your big paydays.
You're not going to have your pay-per-views and you're going to have your things. No, nobody knows who you are, is there? Because all of them, for whatever defaults, they've all got name.
Yeah,
they've all got draw.
You know, and you've got to make your statements now. You really, really have. Zhile Zhang was perfect example.
Made a statement.
He's made his statements.
He's in the conversation.
You know, so these guys have got to follow suit and make their statements. So the likes of Otto, Wallin, Joe Parker.
It's an opportunity, great opportunity for all of them, isn't it?
Yeah, and make statements. Because if you don't, that's it. You're not going to be on events like this again. Which is, you know, it's a fantastic event. I think there'll be another big event like this. I think the Saudis have.
Well, I hope it goes well because then and you get a good show because then there'll be more.
Yeah, and it's on the Zone pay-per-view.
I think so. Yeah,
and TNT pay-per-view.
Okay, it's on both.
I think they've come up with a little
because it's a combined set of fighters, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think they've come up with a little bit of a partnership, the Zone and TNT, and moving forward, that could be the way forward.
Way forward to get these big events on.
Oh, and just on that, is it? Oh God, who was it? Someone's moved on to Amazon for their boxing. I've forgotten who it was. PBC. Okay. Which is good, so we'll be able to watch it because PBC do have some good fighters.
Yeah.
So broadcasting wise, it's great for the boxing because you're going to get to see it. You know, the Zone's on your phone and on the Sky channels now, and you've also got TNT pay-per-view. I don't know the price of it yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be cheap somehow. Do you? But with that many fights, it's like you got to think you're getting like 4, 5, 6 big tier fights.
How much is?
Has it been released?
Day of Reckoning pay-per-view. Okay, on DAZN and TNT Sports, it's $19.99.
That's not a bad value for that, is it?
Not
All of
bad
that
price at all.
It's probably worth paying.
How much are tickets?
Have they been released? Oh, they must be because they must be sold by now. But they're going to be resold tickets, aren't they? So I want ringside, Simon.
Do you want ringside?
Or at least in that section, the first section. Not right up in the corner.
I think it's...
It'll be sold out by now, isn't it? There'll only be people reselling the tickets.
I don't even think you'll get people reselling them, you know.
Probably now it's all be done and dusted, isn't it?
1,500 ZAR, whatever that is.
Tickets to actually go and watch it?
£320.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't sound like a lot.
So, my Christmas bonus should be
yeah,
about
we should be covered that, isn't it? We might be able to go and watch.
No, it's a great event.
Well, hopefully it goes well and we see more of them because it'd be good to see them even in maybe different weights. But like, yeah, because there's some of the fights, obviously, there's still 2 or 3 more heavyweight fights that are on that list that we'll speak about in another episode. And then there's a cruiserweight guy who's up and coming, looks pretty decent. There's Bivol's, so light heavyweight as well.
Hrgovic.
Well, there's Hrgovic and there's 2 heavyweight fights. So there's Hrgovic
there's 2 other heavyweight fights as well. It's a monster event.
Easy. Yeah, there's Bivol and Arthur. There's Sanchez and Farr, Hergovich and Damori. And there's Makhmadov and Cabal, and Opatire and Zorro.
Jay Opatire,
8 fights.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's cruiserweight one. Jay Opatire is pretty good on that weight. Bivol light heavyweight.
The Jay Opatire fight. I don't know whether that'll go ahead.
Because he's been stripped.
Well, he hasn't been stripped.
Oh, they've basically said, look, if you don't do this, as they've done to
as they did to
Terence
Crawford. But yeah, we'll discuss that in the next one.
Charmel, I think, as well, isn't it?
So, your prediction for
Miller and Dubois.
Miller Dubois. Go.
I'm going to pick Miller because I want to go out there.
Okay, Miller knockout.
Miller knockout round 5.
Ooh.
I think a bit earlier this time. I think he's going to go all guns blazing.
Okay.
Based on I haven't seen him fight for ages, so I'm just hoping there's something there. I've seen Dubois.
Do you know the first thing that come into my head then was Dubois quitting again?
Yeah, that's what I'm basing it on.
And it's so bad. But I'll go for Dubois knockout round 7.
Good. Yeah. Good. We're balanced out then. See, one of us has to get it right then, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're the first one we messed it up about.
Yeah, I'll go Dubois.
Wallin might ruin our predictions.
And I think I really can't wait for that event. It's not going to be on a dafter clock either, is it?
I was just going to say that, because in Saudi it's going to be reasonable time.
Yeah.
Because what are they? A few hours ahead. So it's probably going to be around about midnight.
I don't even think it's going to be midnight,
No, the start should be
what
about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock here, UK time.
Yeah. Day of reckoning start. 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh no, 11 p.m. UK, 6 p.m. ET.
Yeah, 11 p.m. Yeah, that's it. So the main fights will probably be...
The event is set to begin at 7 p.m. UK. The main event ring walks are scheduled for 11 p.m.
Yeah, so that's probably... But do we know what the main event... That's Joshua and Wilder's fights. So the other fights... That's a nice
It's from
time.
7 o'clock. I think I should have that Saturday off.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, didn't hear.
Yeah. But it's on the zone, innit? Oh, I've got to pay for it.
Well, we might have to do a watch along, isn't it? That'd be quite cool, I think. But it's a long episode.
It is. It's a lot of boxing.
And it's getting a bit late for the other main fights.
6 hours of boxing, isn't it? It depends how long the fights last.
Yeah. I think we need a few to be quicker and a few quicker knockouts.
Yeah,
and
so
then...
like a Bivol and Jay Opatire, do your work, guys. Knock them guys out pretty easy. But yeah, it's all about the heavyweights, this one, I think.
So the ones we mentioned, and then we'll do the other ones in another episode.
Yeah,
And we'll do Bivol and Opatire, I think, in another episode.
Come on, the AJ. I think he can steal the show, and I think he will. And then it'll be all about AJ. Because Parker's going to be Wilder.
That's your prediction, yeah. And Dubois coming in. The other divisions out the way, which we're going to do in our next episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Like,
Cheers.
comment, like, and subscribe as well. Okay, thank you. See you in the next
See you now.
episode.
Behind closed doors, I'm a